I'm sorry it's turned out this way.
It's those Wilson boys who should be sorry.
Some magistrates are reluctant to record convictions against juveniles.
And they get off scot-free for the third time running. Where's the justice in that?
Leave it, Mum.
I won't leave it. They get away with murder. They used his van as a skateboard ramp.
Yes, I know.
Over $1,000 it cost to fix it.
Well, they were ordered to pay it back.
I'll believe that when I see the money.
I'm sure they're not bad
Oh,
kids. They
no,
just
look.
play spirited. Watch it!
Look out, you nuts! Get off him!
Go, Steve-o!
Oh, you all right, Lenny?
I'm fine, Mum.
Oh, satisfied now?
Should have been watching where he was going, the stupid bastard.
You ran into me.
Mrs. Wilson, will you please control your sons?
Boys, please. Have a cry, Lenny.
If he needs medical attention, it'll be your mother who'll be paying.
Shut up, you old bitch.
Leave it alone, Steve.
What are you going to do about it, Blondie?
Steve, that's enough.
I mean it. She'll be paying.
Shut up.
Don't you talk to my mum like that.
You going to stop me, Mummy's boy?
No, I will. Now clear off home before I find something else to charge you with. I'll be keeping my eye on you two.
Hey, how'd you go in court?
Wrong question.
Running sheet.
Oh, not bad, eh?
The Wilson boys.
What, another bond? Geez, bad luck, Sarge.
Evan, what's this?
What's what?
Just here on your running sheet.
Oh, that's just a couple of kids mucking around. I gave them a warning and sent them on their way.
Relieving themselves in a public place.
It was hardly public. It was the back of the high school behind the mini-school. And they were just marking their territory.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, a couple of comedians.
I think they're trying to write their own names.
You should have charged them with offensive behaviour.
It was a couple of kids mucking around. You don't want to give them a pry for that, do you?
I think it's time the kids in this town found out how serious we can get. Joe, Ben, out on the street.
I've just come back from patrol.
Well, the Wilson boys might try to go out and celebrate their court win, and I'd like to be there when they do.
I need someone in the beer garden now. Super glue, the lot of them.
Oh, it's original. I like it.
Do you? You're giving out prizes now, are you?
What time did you close up out here?
Not till about 10. It was a quiet night last night.
You didn't hear anything unusual?
No, not a thing.
What about you?
I was out like a lion.
And the only way in is over the back fence.
Hey, check this.
I might have known. The Wilson boys. We took these when they vandalised the railway station last year, and these at the pub today.
Looks like a match to me.
Half the kids in town are into graffiti, and they're always copying each other.
Well, it's got a point.
We haven't picked up anyone else for using these tags.
So on the balance of probabilities...
Well, when would they have done it?
Last night.
Well, the night before their court case.
They don't have any respect for the law or anything else.
All right. You'll have a hard time proving it.
I'll be in my office.
What's your problem, Evan?
Hey, I'm not the one with the problem. Just because things don't go your way in court don't mean the Wilson
I'm
kids are
biased. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that maybe Steve and Mark Wilson aren't the monsters you're making them out to be.
They've vandalised the motor vehicle, they've vandalised the railway station, they've trashed letterboxes, they've burnt obscenities into the footy oval, and that's just the stuff that we know about.
You sure you're not becoming a little bit obsessed?
I'll get Ben and Joe to find them and bring them in.
Righto, Sarge. Received that.
Oh, she's on the warpath. Those kids want to watch out.
Well, she's got no idea. Teenagers aren't hard to deal with. You just got to talk to them the right way. Joe.
Look at me. I could do that in grade 4.
Hey, boys, there's no riding or skateboarding in the park. Can't you see the signs? Oi! I know it doesn't seem fair, but the council's probably worried about you hurting somebody.
They don't care if we get hurt skating on the road.
That's a fair point. Maybe you should write a letter to the council about it. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, we know.
I don't think I know you. What's your name and date of birth?
Don't tell him.
He will tell me, unless he wants to end up down the station.
Ooh.
That's enough. Come on, I'm waiting.
My name's Toby.
Toby what?
Toby Hamlin, 24th of the 6th, 89.
Whereabouts do you live?
27 Beersheba Road.
You hang out with these guys, do you? It's not with us.
Where's your helmet? At home, is it? I think you better go home now. Don't let me see you riding your bike in the park anymore. And that goes for you fellas too, okay? Walk it. Thank you. Not you two. You come with us down the station. The sergeant wants to see you.
Can't you find something useful to do?
Like what?
Senior? Any luck in contacting the mother?
Well, I'm still not getting through.
Are you sure that's the right mobile number?
She's a cleaner. Works all over the joint. Probably out of range.
Yeah.
We have something to eat?
Yeah, we're starving. You'll live.
Oh, I'm sure we could rustle up some bickies or something like such.
Yeah, Constable Jones, rustle up some bickies.
He lines it up. You look serious.
Don't even think about it, you.
Yeah, okay.
Sergeant Gallagher, a word?
Show some respect. Put it in the bin now.
Why are they still here?
We can't interview them until we've located their mother.
Can't DHS provide someone?
There's no one available.
All right, send them home for now. We can always pick them up again later.
And give them time to work on their alibi.
It's a criminal damage matter. They haven't murdered anyone.
Yet.
Are you sure you're just not trying to make a point here?
Maybe I am, and maybe it's time someone did.
Yes, well, they're making my police station look untidy.
1 more hour, boss. That's all I ask. Sit back down on the chair, please.
Out of the way, mate. So, what's it like being a policewoman? Come on, I really want to know. It's fine. And what do you do for fun? Well, I think it's safe to say you'll never know.
Oh, no, I told you not to lean back.
You all right, Mike?
You sit down.
He could be really
Sit.
hurt.
What's going on now? Sergeant, I think time's up.
Cheryl Wilson, there was a message on my machine. What have you two been up to now?
Nothing, Mum. The police have been picking on us, as usual.
Perhaps a word in my office, Mrs. Wilson.
What am I going to do with them?
Was it possible you could give them any more supervision?
I'm on my own. If I'm not out working, I'm at home cooking and cleaning and stuffing envelopes to try and earn the $1,000 I owe Lenny Krause.
Cheryl, aren't those boys old enough to help you out?
If I ask them, they carry on so much, it's easier if I just do it myself. What happens, if you're right and they did this? Another bond? Or
Well, they've already had 3. They might not get off so lightly this time.
they'd have criminal records?
That is possible, yes.
What time did this happen?
Last night, after 10 o'clock.
Oh, well, it couldn't have been them. They were home all night.
When did you last check on them?
I told them to go to bed at 11 o'clock, and they did.
Maybe they snuck out.
I looked in on them at about 12, and they're sound asleep.
They could have gone out later on.
If they did, I would have heard them. I'm a light sleeper.
Mrs. Wilson, if you let these kids get away with this, they'll never learn to take responsibility.
I'm not going to let you give my boys criminal records. No way. Now, do you still want to interview them or not?
So you're trying to tell me they didn't do it?
No, of course not. But they're not making any admissions, and Cheryl says they didn't leave home all night.
So she's covering for them?
She's a woman who's doing her best in very difficult circumstances.
Well, I'm having difficult circumstances replacing those chairs.
Look, these kids are just acting out because they're bored.
Well, they wouldn't be bored if they helped their mum around the house.
They like skateboarding, right? What if they had a skate park?
Oh, what?
Well, your way of doing things isn't working.
It's not my way. It's the law.
Actually, council did have a proposal for a skate park a while ago.
See? Not the only one who thinks it's a good idea.
It was rejected.
But that's a bit short-sighted.
Oh, no, it was one of the ones that voted against it.
So this is where you've all come to hide.
What is it now, Bill?
Well, I'm glad to see that police can relax while honest citizens are being abused on the street of Pop. Thanks, Chris.
Hang on. What are you on about?
Across the road in the park. They're swearing and yelling and causing a real nuisance.
Who is?
The Wilson gang. Who do you bloody well think?
Did they threaten you in any way, Mr. Whitehouse?
Well, I told you, they abused me.
Well, what did they say exactly?
Do I have to go into detail?
Don't worry. We'll check it out. I know Whitehouse is a pain, but there's no point in winding him up. Besides, he might have a reasonable complaint.
Like what?
Well, by the sounds of things, they could be drinking or smoking dope or vandalising stuff.
Go well.
Or they're just playing soccer.
Yes. Go, Parry. Thanks, Mark. Let's go, Barry.
Come on, kick it back.
Do you ever play?
Of course not.
That should be pretty good. You want to do the honours?
You're kidding.
All right.
I'll keep half the town awake.
We'll go and call for some backup.
They should be dispersed.
Tess.
All right, guys, home time. Come on, that's it. Come on.
We're just having fun.
On your bikes.
Why didn't you charge them?
Because kicking a soccer ball isn't an offence.
They were doing a damn sight more than that.
Yeah, not that we could see.
But if you do have any more trouble, Mr. Whitehouse, don't hesitate to come down the station and let us know.
And then what? You ask them home for tea and scones. I mean, you ask anyone in this pub and they'll all say the same thing. Those kids are trouble. I tell you, would have been different in Sergeant Rice's day.
Well, thankfully, we're not in Sergeant Rice's day.
More's the pity.
That was your first sergeant, wasn't it, boss?
Oh, yeah, about 30 years ago. He used to make up his own rules. The stories about him are legion-like.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, good.
Just ran into Bill Whitehouse. He seemed very stirred up about something.
Oh, he's always stirred up about something.
Oh, yeah, you should have seen him at the meeting we had to discuss replacing the church bell with an amplifier and some tapes.
I've just had him in my ear about that for the last 10 minutes.
Ooh. Look, I'm sorry to drag you away, but I've had a very long wedding rehearsal and I really could use a good night's sleep.
Right. See ya.
Yeah.
Night.
Buddy-dog.
What time is it?
2:05.
It's all right, Bill, I've got it.
Tom, be careful!
All right, leave him.
Get off
Bill,
me!
let him go. I said let him go.
Oh,
Bill?
you okay?
Well, he was going to attack me. You saw that, didn't you? That bell is my responsibility. Of course I was going to investigate.
According to the Wilson boy, he was also there investigating the bell.
Yeah? Well, what was a kid of that age doing out at that time of morning?
Visiting a friend, he said.
Oh, so I suppose the bell was ringing by itself, was it? Oh, come on, Tom. You know and I know that he was the one that was doing it.
That's no reason to assault him.
Well, I didn't hit him hard.
I don't care how hard you hit him. You gave him a clip over the ear, and that is assault.
You can't be serious.
I am.
I don't believe this. I mean, he was trying to get away.
No, he wasn't. I was there too, unfortunately, remember?
Oh, so you're taking his side against mine. This is
I
beautiful.
told you to leave him to me, but you wouldn't listen. Now, I suggest you go home and have a good think about the trouble you've got yourself into. We'll be in touch.
Boss?
Not now.
Boss, just had Mrs. Wilson on the blower. She wants to lay a complaint against Bill Whitehouse for assault.
Well, I can't say I blame her. How did she sound?
Pretty riled up. Even less amused when I told her we were still considering charges against Steve.
Sorry, Sergeant, not this time.
But he was in the belfry disturbing the peace.
Except that we still have nothing to disprove his story about just passing by.
At 2 o'clock in the morning.
Whereas the assault charge...
He has more likelihood of standing up in court. Yeah, we should start calling these boys the Teflon Brothers.
Hey, they'll grow out of it eventually.
Yeah, how long do we have to wait?
I don't know. Look, I grew up with this bloke. Real shocker. Trashing road signs was his go. He grew out of it. Ended up running for state parliament.
Yeah, which party?
The Libs.
I thought you said he gave up vandalism.
Yeah, but the point is...
The point is, these boys are a public menace, and I'm going to do something about it. Now, you two, go and get the lunches.
But it's not just our property at risk, it's our lives. There are large groups of feral kids roaming the streets of Mount Thomas. How long before someone gets hurt? Or
It's a public meeting about the Wilson gang.
Well,
It's not a bit over the top.
Something should be done about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilda. Thank you, Hilda. A very good point and very well made. Exactly the point I tried to make to the police last night.
Excuse me, sir, we investigated your complaint.
Ah, the short arm of the law. And what was the result of your investigation? I'll tell you all what the result of their investigation was. It was that I got charged with assault.
That was another
now,
matter.
Does that tell you about the police and where their sympathies lie?
So what's your answer? Get out there and bang a few heads together?
Well, if you can't do your job, someone's got to do it for you.
If you want to do something, fine. Give these kids something to do. They're bored. They need challenges, excitement.
Ah, what they need is a good kick up the bum.
You're already facing one assault charge, sir.
Are you threatening me?
I'm just pointing out possible consequences.
Well, I think we've heard enough from you. I'd like to move that the police be asked to remove themselves from this meeting. All those in favour, say aye. Aye. I think the ayes have it.
Chris.
It's a public meeting, Jonesy. I think you better go.
Come on, we're not doing any good here.
Come on.
They what?
They can't do that.
I'm afraid they can. It's a public meeting and they can ask who they like to leave.
But it's our pub.
I can't believe that Chris would let this happen.
She just stood there.
Chris did.
Yeah, afraid so, boss. I think she kind of agrees with them.
Well, since when does Chris play host to redneck mobs?
The chairs were super glued, I guess.
Bloody Stinky Whitehouse is behind all this.
Stinky.
I've known him since we were kids.
Yeah, but stinky.
It's a long story. You don't want to know.
Yeah, we do. Come on.
Perhaps I should go and have a word with Chris.
Was it a personal cleanliness problem?
Or his digestion.
Maybe his parents own a cabbage farm.
Ate too many baked bean sandwiches.
Speaking of sandwiches, where are the lunches?
We were kicked out before.
Then I suggest you call Chris Riley and remind her of her obligations.
Why was he called stinky?
None of your business. Sergeant, I'd like a word, please.
They might just run out of steam.
That could take a while, especially with Whitehouse fanning the flames.
Maybe we shouldn't fight this. Maybe these people could actually help us.
Tess?
Because these kids couldn't get up to anything if there was a bunch of concerned citizens hanging off their every move. Now,
And
could
when they start trading blows and someone is seriously injured or killed?
All right, bad idea.
Bad doesn't even come close.
All right, so we call another meeting and we make them see reason.
When people get themselves whipped up like this, they don't want to see reason. That's why I'm worried.
What do you think of a one-on-one chat with Bill Whitehouse? Make him see a few home truths.
Waste of breath. You might like to keep a bit of an eye on him, though. See if you can get any clues as to what he might be up to.
He's the third one.
The third one.
The victim of the Wilson boys. Max Owens had his bird bath destroyed, Annie Glidden lost half the bigots of her fence, and now Lenny Krause, whose panel van was vandalised.
That's quite a dossier you got. Glad you're not keeping one on me.
Who says I'm not? What's he up to?
Yeah, whatever it is, he's having a hard time convincing Lenny.
Sold. Let's see who he's visiting next.
No, wait. Why don't we follow Lenny? See what it is Bill's persuaded him to do.
All right. Lenny it is then. That's Mick Daly.
The doomsday survivalist bloke.
Yeah. I've always suspected him of having unlicensed firearms, but we've never been able to prove it. Well, if he's involved...
Steve and Mark better watch out. What the hell's that?
Looks like...
Camouflage netting. What would they be wanting with that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
If you ask me, they've all gone troppo.
All the people that Whitehouse went to see had a beef with the kids. I reckon it's got to be some kind of revenge.
With camouflage net? Well, a trap of some kind.
Yeah, but where?
Kids' natural habitat. Well, the amusement arcade.
Camouflage netting. It's the park. It's got to be.
Well, if they're playing at vigilantes, aren't they supposed to be touring the streets in cars, toting baseball bats?
Please, that's something I'd rather not contemplate.
Well, Sergeant Rice would have sorted this out. No, joking, sorry.
No, it's all right. I think I've just worked out what they might be up to.
There's no sign of Dad's army. I got sick of it and went home. It's probably bath night.
Spoke too soon. It's Max Collins.
Big offence?
Go bath.
What are they up to?
Hey! Let's out! Come on, get it. Give it back, you big girl. Come on, then. Come on, get back. Come on. Hey, give it back. Come on. Come on, then. Watch out, it's a trap. Come here, you little wretch.
Everyone, just stay right where you are. What about the guy in the net? You can let him down. Get off me! Oh! Do it, man! Sink the boot! Hey, you kids, clear off home. Go on, the lot of you. You idiots. Down the station.
Now, assuming this harebrained scheme of yours had worked, what were you planning to do?
Take them to the other side of the state forest.
Then what?
Let them walk home.
Almost came off too.
Well, just as well it didn't. Assault and unlawful imprisonment. Pretty serious charges. Not to mention setting man traps.
We're just trying to send them a message to tell them to stop breaking the law.
Oh, it's a great example you set.
Are you satisfied with your treatment by the police?
What about their assault on me? My shin is black and blue.
Well, you can always make a complaint, but it won't do you much credit when the case comes to court. Sign here. And if you lot give me any more trouble, I'll make Sergeant Rice look like the Dalai Lama. Understood? Now, hop it.
So how'd you know what they were planning to do, boss?
Old trick of Sergeant Rice's. If the kids were giving him too much trouble, he'd bundle them all into the divvy van and dump them on the outskirts of town.
Good old days, eh?
Oh, yes, the good old days. You know, what really bothers me about this is we had to work it out for ourselves. I mean, half the town must have turned up at that meeting. You'd think somebody would have tipped us off.
For God's sake, I heard someone talking about that. I thought they were joking.
Oh, it's not a joke. Somebody could have been seriously hurt.
Well, I realised that. I'm surprised they hadn't been.
Did you hear them talking about anything else?
Yes, there was general talk about patrolling the streets, that's all.
What next? People's cause.
Well, what do you expect, Tom? They're angry and they've got every right to be.
Well, will you please let me know if you hear them planning anything else?
Of course.
Thank you very much.
So did you sort it out, boss?
Oh, I think we understand each other.
Thank goodness. I'd hate to have to find somewhere else to drink.
Well, sorry for you. I live here.
Just got a call. Trouble at the Krauses.
She's in a lot of pain. Wouldn't let me take her inside.
My leg. I think they broke it.
Who did?
Those boys.
The Wilson boys.
Where's the ambulance? Should have been here by now.
Evan, can you... When did they attack her?
VKC.
When we got back from the station. They thrown stones on the roof.
Did you see how many there were?
Not sure. Mum came out to tell them all.
They broke the outside light. I didn't see the step.
So you fell down the back step?
It shouldn't be too long.
Oh, could you get my makeup, love? Oh.
Neighbours didn't see a thing.
It's pretty clear who did it.
It was dark. Mrs. Krause couldn't make a positive ID.
Well, what about her son?
Well, he didn't see them either. Yeah, he heard his mother cry out. He went outside. She was on the ground.
It's obviously the Wilsons in retaliation for the incident at the park.
What's the news on Hilda?
She's got a hip fracture. She's going to be in hospital for a while.
I can imagine what our concerned citizens are going to do with this once the news gets out.
We better get those Wilson boys back in for questioning.
The sooner the better. If we don't get to them, you can bet our vigilantes will.
Did you find them?
Excuse me?
Don't tell me something's happened to them. Oh, if something's happened to them, I'll never forgive myself.
Right, calm down, Mrs. Wilson. What's wrong?
My boys, they haven't been home all night. They went out about 7:30 after they'd had their tea. They were going to a friend's place.
Can you remember the friend's name?
Toby, I think. I'm not sure.
Was it Toby in the park the other day? Was it Toby Hanlon?
Yeah. I think so. Look, they've just got so many friends, I just lose track.
Those details here. I'll just give them a call.
And that was the last time you saw them?
Is there something you're not telling me?
Mrs. Wilson, we need you to remember as many of their friends' names as you possibly can. Can you do that for me?
I know what you're thinking, but you try raising 2 teenage boys on your own.
It's okay, Mrs. Wilson.
Sarge, I've got Morris Hanlon on the phone here. Toby's dad. There's no mention of Steve or Mark, but apparently Toby was nearly run down last night.
Get them both in now.
Car came out of nowhere, headed straight for us.
Did you see what type of car it was?
The headlights were in my eyes.
What happened then?
Well, the car drove onto the footpath. Mark and I just ran.
What did Steve do?
Started yelling at the driver, telling him where to go and that. Then this guy got out, grabbed Steve. He was wearing some kind of mask thing.
What, like a balaclava?
Yeah. This guy, he was really strong. Just grabbed Steve, dragged him in, drove away.
Was there anyone else with this guy?
I don't think so. It was really quick. I couldn't do anything.
Of course you couldn't, mate. That's okay.
I should have helped.
Mate, you're helping now.
What did you do after the car drove away?
I just ran.
And what did Mark do? Toby, where were you when the car came?
The cemetery.
Well, at least that explains the question about who's been smashing headstones.
We can't afford to worry about that now. We just got to find those kids. Ben?
Yeah.
What a difference a day makes, eh? Yesterday they were public enemy number 1.
Bloody Bill Whitehouse has got to be behind all this.
It's a bit extreme for him, isn't it? Attempted hit and run and a kidnap.
Except he did try last night.
If he's not involved himself, I bet he knows who he is. Bring him in.
Yep.
I'd never do anything like that. I mean, I've got a position in this community.
Get off your high horse, Bill.
Besides which, I've got a bad heart.
Well, your bad heart didn't get in the way of that little exercise last night, did it?
You decided to try it again, didn't you?
No. That was something completely different.
How do you work that out?
I mean, we didn't mean to hurt the little lads. We just wanted to send them a message.
You started off this vigilante group and now it's gotten out of hand.
No. I cannot take responsibility for any redneck elements that might take the law into their own hands.
Who's got Steve Wilson?
Look, I honestly do not know. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have church bell to ring and I'm running late.
It's not our problem, Bill.
Well, it will be your problem when your wife discovers that you prevented me from doing my duty.
Don't you worry about that. You'll be pleased to know that my wife has a profound respect for the law, unlike some.
We'd like to search your home and your office, Mr. Whitehouse.
You'll do no such thing. You'll need a search warrant to do that.
Well, that's easily arranged, but it could take a while and you have bells to ring. Well, how did you go?
Nothing.
No sign of the boys at his place.
Doesn't mean he's not involved, though.
Bill's a bit of a hothead, but he's also got a very strong sense of self-preservation. I can't see him risking serious charges.
You think he's covering for someone?
That I'm not sure about.
It's all right, mate. You're safe now. Come on, we'll give your mum a call, eh?
Right, what happened?
He almost ran me over.
I found him behind the crypts. He was scared out of his mind.
You gotta find my brother!
It's okay. It's okay, mate.
Then he just grabbed Steve and drove away.
So where were you before this?
Just around?
Not around at Lenny Krause's house?
No.
Well, you throwing stones on his roof?
No! We're at the cemetery.
What were you doing there?
Just mucking around.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get a look at the car?
I
think it was a ute. A white ute.
Do you know whether it was older than you?
I just ran and hid. I thought they might come back for me.
Can you remember in which direction the ute drove off?
No.
All right, how about you come with us and show us exactly where this all happened?
It's right here. Car came up from there.
Had anyone been following you earlier?
No.
Is there anything else you remember? Anything at all?
Just the guy. He was really freaky. Not like them guys from the park. This one was totally aggro.
In what way?
Like, he moved really fast. The way he grabbed Steve. It happened before I knew it.
Mark, do you recognise this?
Steve's.
Don't worry, mate. We're going to find him. We're going to find him, okay?
Hi.
G'day.
Tom told me what happened last night.
You didn't hear anything at all, did you?
No. Well, after what happened the other night, we're both soundly asleep.
That doesn't sound too good, does it?
No.
You know anything about that?
No. Honest.
Let's have a look.
So how is he?
Temporary deafness, the doctor said. Shock. He's just a boy. What sort of animals would do something like this?
We'll deal with it. When Steve comes to, we're going to need to speak with him. But if he says anything in the meantime that you think might be useful...
Well, I want the person who did this punished.
So all we've got is a white ute with the driver wearing a balaclava.
Plus, the driver knew about the bell tower. Not your usual hiding place, is it?
What sort of car does Bill Whitehouse drive?
Commodore sedan.
Well, he could have borrowed a ute.
And he did assault the brother.
It's one thing to hit a kid, but it's another thing to chuck him into a back of a ute and drag him up a bell tower.
Whitehouse was very keen to get back to that belfry this morning.
Well, of course I wanted to get back. I take my duties at the Holy Trinity very seriously.
Or perhaps you were worried about the condition of Steve Wilson.
Look, you've got to believe me. I didn't have anything to do with this.
What about someone else in this group of yours?
Look, I've already told you they wouldn't dream of it.
How can you be so sure?
Well, because we made a pact not to do any harm to anyone.
You seem to have forgotten all about that pact when you assaulted Steve the other night.
Oh, yeah, look, all right. I did my block then, OK? I admit that. But I didn't do this. How is the little lad?
In hospital?
Where were you at 12:30 last night?
Watching television.
A bit late.
Well, I couldn't sleep. If that kid hadn't done anything wrong, he wouldn't be in this position in the first place.
Ah, so you think he was asking for it, do you? Oh, Stinky, you've really crossed the line on this one.
All right, thanks, Mrs. Whitehouse. Oh, you shouldn't be too much longer. Yeah, I don't blame you. OK, play. Not happy with Bill, but his alibi does check out. He was home watching North by Northwest from start to finish.
She could be covering for him.
Sandra Whitehouse? Hardly. Here's a list of vehicles belonging to our vigilantes.
It's...
Lenny Krause.
But surely he was with his mum in hospital last night.
Check it out.
He stayed with me until this morning.
Are you sure about that, Mrs. Krause?
Yes, of course. He's only just gone. I sent him home to have something to eat and to have a rest. He's been up all night, poor boy.
So even when you were in X-ray?
Yes, he waited outside the theatre. I could see him through the window in the door.
And after that they brought you back here?
That's right. And Lenny came with me. That's when they told me about my hip. I need an operation.
So they gave you medication?
Oh, a few pills, I think.
Doctors told us you were given painkillers.
Which may have made you drowsy, you may have fallen asleep.
I didn't. I told you I was awake the whole time.
Thanks very much. The nurse reckons Lenny left the hospital as soon as Hilda went in for the x-ray.
When did he get back?
Not until this morning.
So what about Hilda's story about how he was with her all night?
Oh, she wouldn't have known. She was totally out of it.
Well, let's pay Lenny a visit, get our hands on this ute.
There goes the evidence.
Afternoon, Lenny.
Something wrong with Mum?
No, she's fine. We just came from there.
Surprised you're not there yourself.
I'm heading off there soon. What's up?
Been doing a bit of cleaning.
Well, I went fishing the other day, just getting rid of the smell.
Well, you've done a good job. I'd have thought there'd be other things on your mind.
Well, I like a clean vehicle. What's wrong with that?
Even though you've been up all night?
Look, I've got to get to the hospital. Mum's expecting me.
Yeah, never mind about your mum. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
The nurse is wrong. I stayed with Mum all night. Left the hospital about 10 this morning.
So how did you feel about your mum's accident?
Well, I was upset, of course.
What'd you do about it?
I didn't go near Steve Wilson.
Ah, then again, your mum's probably not worth getting upset about, is she?
What are you talking about?
Well, it must be hard living under a thumb. Steve probably did you a favour. Get her out of your face for a while.
Don't you talk about my mum like that.
Why? Is she going to smack you? You are a mummy's boy, aren't you?
Hey, sit down, Mr. Krause. Sit down.
Now, why don't you tell me again how you didn't go near Steve Wilson?
I didn't touch him.
Lenny Krause wouldn't say boo to a goose.
You didn't see him. The bloke's wound up like a spring.
Yeah, well, anyone who lives with his mother at his age is going to be pretty weird.
Thank you for that psychological insight, Parrish.
No worries.
One small problem, no proof. We passed the ute on forensics, but Lenny's washed it within an inch of its life, so there's probably nothing left on it to go on.
Steve's a goer. He's still weak, but his mum says it's okay for him to speak.
Great. Let's see if we can get some sense out of him. Steve, what do you remember about the ute? The ute?
I can't hear. It's okay. It's okay, Steve. It's okay. Look, he said before that the man driving had something over his face.
Did you throw rocks on Mrs. Krause's roof?
No. No way, man.
Hey, he's not going to get into trouble. We just want to find out what happened to him.
We didn't throw any rocks. That's like kid stuff.
Well, was there someone else in your gang?
Never.
You sound pretty sure about that.
That's because no one would do anything without Steve knowing first. No one would dare.
I reckon they're telling the truth.
Oh, come on, Evan. Those kids are past masters at lying.
It was something about Mark's tone. The idea that throwing stones was uncool. Kid stuff.
The other day in the park, Toby did a trick on a bicycle, and Mark said that he'd been doing that trick since grade 4.
Kid stuff. When you saw your mum lying there on the back steps, you saw red, didn't you? So as soon as you could, you jumped in your ute and you drove around the streets looking for those kids who did it. You drove past the church, you saw the Wilson boys. Now it was Steve Wilson who threw those rocks on your roof, wasn't it? What if it wasn't Lenny? What if you got the wrong person?
Who else would it be? Stuck-up little... Struts around like he owns the place.
If you just step outside, please, Mr. Krause. Have you met Toby Hanlon and his father Morris? Tell Mr. Krause what happened.
Go on, Toby. It's okay.
They said I had to do something, you know, stay in the gang and hang with them.
So you went and threw rocks on Mrs. Krause's roof?
Answer her, Toby.
Yes. We were just having fun. Sorry about your mum. I didn't mean to hurt her.
Nah, couldn't have been you.
He's telling the truth, Mr. Krause. You punished the wrong kid.
It was Steve Wilson. I was sure.
That's the problem with vigilante justice. You set yourself up as judge and jury, but you don't have all the evidence. And what if you get it wrong? Leonard Krause, you understand that you're being charged with false imprisonment, unlawful assault, and intentionally cause injury.
Good on you, Bill.
What are you up to?
I was just talking to Bill.
We know that.
Why?
Well, if you must know, I was trying to get him interested in heading up another citizens' committee.
Spare us, please.
Did I?
I'm off.
Yeah, me too.
See
you later.
See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah, bye.
No, this one is to lobby the council to establish a skate park in Mount Thomas.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. It's just what I need.
No. They'll be seeking private donations and sponsorship.
Ah. Hello then.
And what did Stinky have to say to this marvellous idea?
Well, he said he'd think about it.
Great. What's next? Disneyland? These kids are going to think we're licensing their behaviour.
Come on, Tess. What were you like at their age?
Busy?
You never had fun?
I don't know. I didn't have the time. Someone had to look after things.
Well, it's never too late, you know.
For what?
Hey!
It's called having fun. You got a problem with that?